It's called The View?
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting that it's called, I mean, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America. There is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
Sunny Hostin found herself under intense fire from Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly in a confrontation so sharp it seemed to freeze the studio. One moment she was relaxed on The View, and the next it felt like she ran headfirst into her own talking points. What unfolded on live television left her visibly stunned, reacting like someone blindsided by an unexpected bill. The exchange was fast, tense, and packed with more twists than a scripted drama running on pure caffeine.
They're disgusting. She's Anna Navarro in your wildest imagination. You could never solo host a show. You will only ever make it as part of an ensemble, and you could never hope to achieve the success that Tucker Carlson has. So you can sit in your little cheap seats all day long and enjoy your little negative henpecking, but your careers are going nowhere, and Tucker is about to die.
Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly, both known for blunt honesty, appeared to reach their breaking point with Sunny's self-styled intellectual authority. Maher's dry sarcasm collided with Kelly's focused, analytical pushback. Almost instantly, Sunny's confidence began to wobble. This didn't resemble a debate. It felt more like a structured dismantling, where one side arrived prepared and the other underestimated the moment.
I want to talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So everybody was like, oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma. First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no fucking thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid shit on a regular basis. They just happen to coincide. But
Sunny's trademark move is leaning heavily on her legal background. The credentials come out quickly: former federal prosecutor, legal analyst, seasoned commentator. And while expertise matters, the phrase as a lawyer often signals a lecture rather than a discussion. Too often it replaces evidence with authority. In this moment, Sunny leaned into that posture, turning the conversation into a courtroom-style monologue heavy on judgment but light on substance, elevated by moral certainty rather than verifiable facts.
That hot mess that they air in the mornings, called The View, had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections, 4 legal notes. Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side, and then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered. They cowered in fear. I mean, this is a
Sunny didn't just encounter resistance. She faced a direct clash of ideas. When the dust settled, she defaulted to the familiar look of disapproval she often wears. Strong opinions are valid, but Sunny's approach frequently turns conversation into instruction from a moral high ground. She doesn't debate, she declares. Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly don't play that game. They rely on logic, evidence, and timing. Against that approach, Sunny's performance felt less persuasive and more theatrical. When challenged, she didn't adapt. She simply amplified her tone, as though volume could replace argument.
any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left, but don't tell me the left
Or maybe the super far right.
Well, he's talking about the left. Well, then
okay, but we talked about that. I mean, I think we agree about the danger of the super far right, and I can't say it enough. I think they're the bigger threat. But don't tell me that the left hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maher remained composed and detached, like someone who has seen this exchange many times before. He let Sunny speak, knowing her words were doing the work for him. With each statement, she sank deeper into rehearsed phrases and emotional emphasis. Then Kelly stepped in with precision. Calm, measured, and methodical, she dismantled Sunny's assertions piece by piece. No raised voice, no spectacle, just clarity. The contrast exposed how much of Sunny's authority rested on presentation rather than depth.
And finally, new rule. Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma. Sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Sunny's style depends on one crucial factor: never being directly challenged. Her formula relies on accusation, exaggeration, and moral framing. But when that structure is calmly questioned, the collapse is swift. What followed wasn't a minor stumble, it was a breakdown of the entire approach. When identity is built on moral certainty, even basic scrutiny feels destabilizing. This time, the structure didn't bend. It gave way completely.
They had a discussion on The View about world superpowers from the sound of it. That's how they got into it. And Sunny Hostin made some comments about patriotism and America and Black America. It's all in there, Jason. I mean, it's all in there. I'm going to tee it up. It starts with Alyssa Farah, who's supposed to be the Republican commentator. And then you'll hear Sunny jump in. Listen.
If America is not the #1 global power, it's not going to be Denmark. It's going to be communist China, a country that right now the government is imprisoning Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps. It is a deeply racist government. It's a human rights violating government. It is a government that if they're the leader of the free world, we are not a free world the way that we are right now. So
the notion of patriotism and the notion of America and the American flag has been co-opted by the right as if they are true patriots. But when I listen to Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI, he said white supremacy is the biggest domestic threat to this country.
Megyn Kelly's presence alone seems to unsettle Sunny. The shift is immediate. Kelly brings a skill that disrupts the tone, calm explanation backed by facts. On The View, that approach feels almost foreign. When Kelly lays out timelines, sources, or data without theatrics, it punctures the emotional bubble. While Sunny reacts with alarm and sweeping claims, Kelly stays steady. She cites evidence. She explains. And that contrast highlights the gap between emotional argument and factual reasoning.
Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States, yay, on January 20th of this month. Not everyone's happy about it, and many people would like us to be more focused on the insurrection that he personally unleashed, if you ask them. As we discussed earlier, they think it's as bad as like the Holocaust, and you don't have to take my word for it. Here is Sunny Hostin of The View.
January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery.
Yeah, the January 6th is right up there next to the Holocaust and
This exchange was fundamentally uneven. Sunny relied on emotion and urgency, while Kelly responded with precision and structure. Each factual point met resistance not through counter-evidence, but through heightened emotion. It became clear that logic was being treated as hostility. Every attempt at clarification was met with frustration. The moment exposed a deeper issue. Disagreement was interpreted as offense rather than engagement.
I want you to note the tone they all talk with him. I want you to look at Sunny Hostin's body language and the way they look at him and everything else. Just because he is a lefty who hasn't gone completely bananas, here they are talking about the word woke.
The term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words migrate.
Why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice, who's not for that? But words do.
Sunny also appeared uncomfortable with humor, particularly when it came from a comedian like Bill Maher. Satire is central to Maher's work, yet each joke was met with visible disapproval. Expecting a comedian to avoid critique defeats the purpose of satire itself. Sunny reacted as though humor itself was an attack. Her attempts to counter Maher intellectually lacked focus, jumping between references and legal phrasing without cohesion. The result felt scattered rather than persuasive.
Whoopi Goldberg was angry when Alyssa pointed out that Trump went to the funeral of Officer Diller.
Yes.
On Long Island, and Joe Biden went to a podcast. Look at Whoopi Goldberg's reaction.
Choose what you like there, but for Republicans, it was good imagery.
Really?
One day later, yes.
And I'm asking that because I was so offended because you know who showed up.
Yeah.
And he was, whether he was asked or not. This
But he
is a
was
man
invited.
who didn't care what happened to the officers on January 6th.
She promotes Joe Biden and Kamala Harris every day on that show. Trump wasn't supportive enough of the cops who were, yes, in danger on J 6th. How does that explain their behavior on a daily basis?
Maher stayed relaxed throughout, letting the moment unfold. This wasn't new territory for him. Decades of debate have taught him when to engage and when to observe. Sunny's attempts to frame him within moral outrage never landed. While she escalated emotionally, Maher remained detached, signaling confidence without confrontation. The contrast made her responses feel performative rather than effective.
Last week you called white Republican women cockroaches.
Actually, I didn't. And
You said they're acting like cockroaches.
I used in a similar. Let me answer that.
Okay.
I used
So
a
that's-
metaphor.
but that's
Here's
what
what I'm
I'm
going to
doing
ask
now.
you all
But
to
I
do.
need
Here's
to
what I'm going to
respond.
ask you to do.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to tone it down a bit because I can't hear anything.
Let
No
me
one can hear
respond.
what's being
But she
saying.
just said I
Do you
called white women
understand why
roaches.
people-
All right, we're
because
going to
I
go to
didn't.
break. We're going to break. Can't.
Megyn Kelly didn't raise her voice, and she didn't need to. Her responses carried weight because they were controlled and consistent. This wasn't a shouting match. It was a careful dismantling. Sunny's belief that outrage equals righteousness worked against her. She framed disagreement as moral failure, turning discussion into judgment. Rather than exchange ideas, she staged verdicts.
And by the way, out there, that hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says "Make America Great Again," that tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Don't do that. Let's not do that.
Because we see it anyway.
I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put the swastika on the cap, because I think you can hate Donald Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country, and I don't hate half the
How
country.
dare you disagree?
That approach might resonate in friendly spaces, but under scrutiny it falters. Sunny's commentary leaned on selective facts, emotional framing, and certainty. When challenged by another woman who disagreed calmly, the response shifted from debate to accusation. The moment revealed how quickly discourse turned hostile when consensus vanished. Maher refused to engage emotionally, instead pointing out the inconsistencies. By the end, Sunny's performance didn't feel authoritative, felt overwhelmed. What unfolded wasn't bravery or conviction. It was a collapse under pressure. When the moment passed, the impression left behind was unmistakable. Sunny Hostin wasn't just challenged on live television. Her entire approach was exposed, and when the exchange ended, one word lingered: brutal.